Hello everyone, I'm Kalani64 and today you're watching a review of the Elephone Trunk. The Trunk is a budget device by Elephone and is marketed as a low to mid-tier device. The main trump it has over other phones in its price range is that it comes with a Snapdragon system on chip instead of a MediaTek one, which is normally the case in these phones. So we're just going to start off with a quick unboxing so you get an idea of what's in the box when you buy it. As we can see from the outside, it's just a plain, well-designed box. Nothing too special going on here. So we're open this thing up like so. And we've got the phone right there. We'll be looking at this later. So let's just take it out for now. This piece as well. There it goes. The cardboard. And right over here we've got the charger, the USB charger. Fairly plain. And right here is the data and USB cable, the charging and data cable, of course. And then we've got a quick start guide with some basic Android functionalities explained, and a spare screen protector, which is always nice. So let's just get this stuff out of here. We can start looking at the phone. Let's go over the specs first real quick. This device has a 5-inch HD IPS screen, which is 1280 by 720 pixels, which powered, as I've already mentioned, by a quad-core Snapdragon chip, the Snapdragon 410, which is a 64-bit chip. We've got 2 gigabytes of RAM going on here, which is really nice for a phone of in this price range. And we've got 16 gigabytes of storage, which you can expand with a micro SD card of up to 32 gigabytes. We've got a camera that's 8 megapixels in the back, and we've got a 2 megapixel sensor in the front. The whole thing is powered by a 2100 mAh battery, which is not that large for a phone nowadays, but remember that this phone only has an HD screen, and the processor is pretty low power too. So it should last you longer than a battery of that size should normally last, a flagship device. And the whole thing is powered by Android 5.1. And a fun thing to mention is that there's already, as of this moment, a Cyanogen mod ROM for this phone. So hopefully we'll see more custom ROMs coming out in the future too. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about the specs, so let's go straight on with the design of this phone. So let's look at the design of this phone. On first sight, we can already see that the phone is very inspired by recent outings by Meizu and ZTE, as in that the home button, right here, the capacitive buttons, is just a circle. The 2 buttons next to the home button, the menu and return button respectively, are not visible as such. They don't have an icon to them. They have a very low-key LED behind them, so a light. It's very hard to see, just like that with the bare eye. I'm doubting we'll see it on the camera later. But it's there, and in dark conditions you can see it clearly. But in a normal daytime you can only see the home button light up when you press any of the buttons. So yeah, the lights behind the capacitive buttons might have been a bit brighter. That would have been a good thing in my book, but it's not that much of a deal since the home button is pretty visible. Also, there's no notification LED on this phone, but the home button doubles as a notification LED, so that's good. For the rest, we can see that we have a nice singular pane of glass here, with the normal the mic, the speaker, the proximity sensor, and the camera right here. In the back, we can see it's a plastic back case. One of the things that Elephone is marketing is that there are multiple colors you can choose from, and you can buy different colors of back covers. So it's certainly a thing for the fashion minded if you're into that. But it's plastic, and it doesn't feel that premium. You feel that it's a cheap phone. It's not that heavy. It's not, it's sturdy. It doesn't creak anywhere. But you feel that it's not a premium phone. At least they did it nicely. For this price you can't make a real premium design, but they kept it real simple. They have these rounded edges, so they did well with what they had. The camera, as you can see, is slightly protruding. It's hard to show, but coupled with the fact that it's large, I think it's pretty easy to scratch the glass that's in front of the lens. So yeah, the speaker down here, we're just going to go through the different features. Right here we've got the power button, the volume rocker, the USB port, and the audio jack are both on top of the phone. Right here we've got nothing, and on the bottom we've just got the microphone. Now let me just open this up for you so you can see the inside. You just jam your nail into the corner there and pull open the rest. Right there. So as you can see, we've got two full-size SIM cards here. Full size, that's something that's been a long time since I've seen that. And we've got the micro SD port here. And the battery, of course. So that's pretty much all there is to say for the design of the phone. Let's just lock this back up. So yeah, as you can see, very inspired by Meizu, of course, which is not a bad thing because the design of Meizu phones is a nice design. So if they had to rip anyone off, I'm glad they did this. So going on with the software. Turning the phone on, we find, as is the case with many China phones these days, that the ROM is very close to stock. Now, when I first received the phone, the interface was pretty different to a normal Android experience. It had what Elephone calls the LA UI. Now, I wasn't really bothered by it. I wasn't really crazy about it. You know, it was just different. But then I received the notification of an over-the-air update. I installed it, and now there is literally no distinction anymore between the UI of this phone and the normal Android, you know, the standard Google UI. So, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot that I'll be able to say about this UI because you pretty much know it already. A lot of Google apps have been pre-installed, such as you can see, music, movies and TV. Right here we've got maps. A lot of them are already pre-installed. One note that I want to make that I was really disappointed by is that there is no standard music player. There's only Play Music installed, but there's no custom music player or default Android music player. You've only got Google Play Music to deal with, or you have to download something from the Play Store. There's some things that I can show you about this ROM. For instance, the settings. You know, you've seen these a million times. Right here we've got the buttons compartment, which holds some button gestures. This phone doesn't have a lot of gestures such as a screen off gestures and stuff, but you can set what you want the different buttons to do. As such, you can set short and long presses for the different capacitive buttons, for the volume buttons. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed that there was no double tap to wake option on this phone, but that can happen. It's not that much of a problem, but I've grown pretty accustomed to it right now. One app that I've found that differs a bit from the norm is the camera app, which we can see right here. Now, as you can see, we've got some kind of a different UI up here. We've got some different icons down here. You can change the settings of this. The camera app is pretty nice because it offers some functionalities that normal stock camera apps don't have. Some professional ones, such as the automatic HDR option, and some expert settings, just as white balance, sharpness, stuff like that. Stuff that you normally have to download a third-party camera app for. So that was pretty nice. But yeah, apart from that, it's pretty much the standard Android system with the normal stock apps and normal stock interface. So if you're a fan of that, then this is good for you. Without further ado, let's go on to the performance.